Hello, it's that time again for the best flarking podcast. And as our good old friend Deathlock likes to say, discussion is for bioorganisms. And luckily for us, we are bioorganisms, so we are going to discuss some stuff. Ain't that right, Reach?
That we are.
Yes.
Yes.
So, this weekend was D23, which, gotta tell you, we got a lot of good stuff out of it, but I was actually kind of disappointed by how sparse it was on the Marvel end. We got like a million Star Wars things, which is really cool in the Star Wars realm of things. I like Star Wars. I don't love Star Wars, but I do like it. And I got told that we're getting like 14 acres of theme park and fucking stills of Rogue One and descriptions for reasons why characters are named the way they're named. And then we get a lookbook from Doctor Strange, which kind of bothers me. That why isn't that online? If it's just concept art and it's not actual footage, why wouldn't you just let everyone see that shit?
As they did with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver for Age of Ultron.
It's like, why not just let everyone see that shit?
Yep.
I can understand not letting us see the Cap trailer because that's for some reason, something that companies like to do and they don't want everyone to see everything. So fine, if you want to go ahead and say no, you can't see it, and you want to police it super hard, I guess reading the amazing descriptions of it on IO9 and all the other sites will just have to do. But what did you think of the Civil War description, since neither of us can say that we saw it?
Right. The description is exciting. It leaves a lot to the imagination, and we're going to need to see it before we can actually have a real opinion on it, I guess, so to speak. But I was thoroughly impressed with what I read. We've got, what was it, Hawkeye on top of Black Widow or Black Widow on top of Hawkeye?
I think it's Hawkeye's on top of her trying to choke her out.
And then says, well, we're still friends, right? It's great. And I think it was a week ago we got the rosters for who the teams would end up being, who sides with Stark and who sides with Cap. And surprisingly, Widow is on Iron Man's side.
I'm actually not as surprised about that.
Okay.
It's surprising that, one, she would turn after being second in command of the Avengers.
Yep.
To being on Stark's side. But looking at her role in like Avengers 1, where she stands up for why S.H.I.E.L.D. is monitoring everyone, I can understand why her character arc would say that Tony's look of having everyone register be okay.
That's a great point.
Because she's been fighting superpowered crime with her name being out there for a long time.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah.
So, but I did really enjoy the written descriptions of the interaction between Tony and Steve about, Tony saying that we're no better than supervillains, and Steve automatically correcting him, being like, is that how you view protection? Is that we're just doing whatever we want and not just responding to people in need? And Tony telling him that he'd love to just punch him in his perfect teeth.
Yeah.
So there's these great moments between them, and it's like, yep, we're gonna get a whole movie of let's go a few rounds, put on the suit is basically what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Between the two of them, where there's this tension, but still at the same time a little bit of respect and some anger. The most jaw-dropping thing from the accounts of the footage is that Black Panther looks fucking awesome.
Well, and we got pictures of his outfit now. You and I had sharing a conversation on that, and after visual effects and a little brush up there, I mean, it's going to look almost spot on to the concept art that we got a year ago. It looks incredible.
I'm pretty excited, and the idea of the claws being retractable, like a nano retractable where they kind of like fold in on each other, sound really cool too, as opposed to just kind of like popping out of the finger parts of the glove. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that whole sequence that and I don't know if anybody else saw shots of it, but we'll try and post that for you guys if you didn't see shots of that. But it looked to me like the new Avengers complex. Cap chasing Bucky and Black Panther scaling the side of the building basically, and you don't see too often the legitimacy and realism of somebody with that kind of power set climbing a building. Like, you kind of get these, like, it looks like somebody's the on the all fours, walking on the floor, and then they turn it 90 degrees so it looks like they're scaling up a wall. This one looks very real, like he is actually using the claws from his suit to get up this building. And I don't know what that scene is or anything, but it looks incredible to me with the stunt doubles that were involved. Yeah. So that was just awesome. And we'll try and post that for you guys there if you didn't see it.
We'll get it up on the old Facebook page, and you can see all the neat stuff on there. For me, as an Ant-Man guy, the ending of the description sounds awesome.
Fantastic.
That a starstruck Scott Lang is for some reason sleeping in the back of a van that Hawkeye has. I'm assuming Hawkeye infiltrates his house and knocks him out and brings him to Cap.
It's going to be something good, yeah.
Is what's going to happen. And he wakes up in the back of the van and it's just like, oh my god, it's Captain America, this is amazing. And he is shaking his hand the whole time, and he's just like, I'm shaking your hand for too long, aren't I? Yep. And just they're gonna have that whole Scott Lang be super awkward and weird about it, and the very last line of the trailer being, I know you guys know a lot of super powered people, and I'm really psyched that you chose me to be on your team. I was just like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is so great that this is going to be Ant-Man. So basically we're going to get Spider-Man and Ant-Man are going to be the quippy young guys on the playing field. It's kind of how that's going to work out.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, who would have ever thought that our movie version of Scott Lang would end up being quippy and funny, and basically Paul Rudd being able to play Paul Rudd.
Yeah, and still just crushing the Scott Lang character.
Yeah, exactly.
So, love it.
Awesome. Yeah. What else did you like out of D23 there?
What else? I mean, I dig the idea that astral projection and crossing the dimensional boundaries into other worlds is going to be a thing.
That was one trippy description
that Doctor Strange is going to do. So it's basically Marvel taking the next step forward to keep ahead of DC, and basically confirming that the multiverse is a thing. So he's going to be moving through different dimensions, and I would love to see, an alternate universe where, Cap isn't Cap, and, all the other neat stuff that happens where, Tony Stark is completely a robot now, or, the Hulk is the Maestro, or any of those, really neat moments that they could go with, because, I mean, Maestro Hulk would be a great post-Thanos villain for an Avengers movie.
Yeah, it would.
So
there's plenty of great multi-dimensional villains that could be brought up.
Man, I almost think I should do the Maestro as character of the week next week, and not Moon Knight. No offense to young Moon Knight, I love him.
Yeah, none.
I think we might have to do the Maestro.
To which, let's sidetrack real quick. Best Moon Knight run. Who did it?
Oh, dude, that's not fair. That's not fair.
I'm sorry, and I can't even. I shouldn't even bring that up because I am unjustly. I haven't read any others, but Warren Ellis's, I think, 6 or 8 issue run to me
it's probably Warren Ellis's, because I think Ellis is the one who did the most with Mark's schizo-ness.
Mm-hmm.
He really. But I mean, that's kind of Warren Ellis's bag, where he just kind of he takes characters who have those damages and mental diseases or handicaps. I don't know how you classify schizophrenia, if it's a mental disease or disorder, or somebody correct me, because I know I'm not right. But Moon Knight has that, and Warren Ellis did a great run with him forgetting why he's questioning someone and turning into someone, having all these different moments of just random different emotions and not knowing what's going on, and not knowing who he is sometimes, or not knowing if he's actually has superpowers or if he's crazy. And there's pretty amazing run. I would probably side with you on the Warren Ellis run.
Yeah, there was just one line that stood out to me and sold me on that one. When I think it's the 2nd or 3rd issue in that one, and I apologize if I mess up the line, but it was something to the effect of, "Yeah, I died once, didn't like it, so I got up." Like what? You did what? You didn't like it, so you just decided to wake up and carry on. Oh, okay. That was really cool for me, and seeing those different aspects of Moon Knight, because I had no prior knowledge of the character much other than what I had read. But yeah, you got a tough one on your hands this week with that character. Now that you brought up Maestro.
Yeah, I'll have to make the old decision. But To
And if
further
you guys,
sidetrack,
reminder, if they didn't catch our character of the week this week, you can go back and catch that on our Instagram. Do we have a URL for that?
we do have a URL for that, and that we'll post that right in the on the Facebook along with everything else. It's also actually posted directly to our Facebook and to our YouTube. So the character of the week this week is Devil Dinosaur, and you get a nice little 1 minute breakable bite-sized chunk of who he is, what he does, and if you want to read more about him, go here. Or I should say read about her, because Devil Dinosaur is a girl. So
gasp.
yeah, us female superheroes, you know.
Right. No, I had no idea, honestly, personally. I
yeah, well, I mean, it was like revealed in a fact that it's like she laid eggs, and she was fiercely protective of them. And then in one of the later runs, Moon Boy gets captured by Shield, and then Devil decides that she is going to go into this kind of like mopey stage, and she kind of just curls up around the eggs, and like now that Moon Boy is gone, she's just going to let herself die because she's so sad that he's gone. And then was it Stegron from the Savage Land? Stegron the Stegosaurus man, or Stegron the Dinosaur Man. He's a Stegosaurus man.
Interesting.
He basically breaks into S.H.I.E.L.D., rescues Moon Boy with the help of Reptil, who's also he's a mutant, but he's also one of the Dino mutants. So he helps Stegron get Moon Boy back to the Savage Land.
So I take it this
Devil.
is kind of where the recent announcement of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur has come in. I know nothing of moon people.
Well, let's see. Moon Boy is a part of like, you know, because Devil comes from Dinosaur World.
Yep.
It's a completely alternate dimension, and Moon Boy is the first man. He's like the Cro-Magnon human. So his people are kind of like smaller cavemen who are like threatened by Neanderthal, like bigger, more powerful cavemen. And Devil is like his best friend. They go on these adventures together and all sorts of cool stuff. Very 70s pulpy, kids shit. So like, as time goes on, Moon Boy kind of just becomes more and more intelligent, more human-like, and now he kind of like rides Devil, and his people are in one of the alternate universes. You find out that Moon Boy's particular strand of humanity is the descendant, is Wolverine's descendants. That's who he evolves from, because all the Moon people have the hair like him. Now for Moon Girl though, it looks like she's just a young mutant. She has a super powerful mutation that nobody knows what it is, but they just can read it, that it's coming, and that she's going to have basically a devastating, world-altering power.
Interesting.
And people are hunting her, and Devil befriends her and becomes her protector. And that's kind of what it is that from the descriptions of the book, it's a little girl's journey into becoming a superhero and figuring out who she is. Kind of a classic mutant story.
Yeah.
But the way that they're billing it is it's the tale of a girl growing up and a girl and her dinosaur. Is basically what it is.
To me, I wondered when it was introduced, and I didn't read the synopsis for the book or anything, but looking at the character and seeing the name Moon Girl, I was wondering if we were seeing an early adaptation of Captain Universe before what happened in Infinity. Not in the same universe, so to speak, but just, maybe that was... they were going to run with that or something. I didn't know, but that was my first thought on that one. Given that we haven't gotten much on Captain Universe since Infinity. I read that series and I was like, what the hell? Who is this? What? And you're so powerful, and who are you? Where did you come from? The universe just decided to bestow upon you these powers, and what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a super solid theory that Captain Universe would be Lunella. It makes sense. I mean, depicted as female, you can't really see anything of what her face looks like.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to rule it out, but
who knows?
But who truly knows? I'm really excited for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, just because I think that's will be a really neat story for a lot of younger female readers in general. I feel, much like I feel that minorities aren't represented very well in comics. I don't think females are represented very well either.
Well, they're not. It's a fact. You don't have to feel that way. You know it. It's like,
basically, unless you look like me, you're not well represented.
Yeah.
In the comic world, and so I think that's awesome. That one, they have a little girl be a badass superhero with an amazing, legendary character like Devil as her support and backup, and then on top of which it's a nice story to draw on young girls. I think that's a smart marketing move on Marvel's part, and I think it's a smart social move on Marvel's part. Which, if those two can connect, by all means, rock and roll.
Yep.
Now, hopefully, it doesn't just get like a 10-issue run and then they cancel it because nobody's buying it, and then
or switch writers and
as is commonplace now with books, is that you'll get like a year run and it's like, all right, you're fired.
Next. Yeah, we had that with Winter Soldier. I didn't even realize it until recently. I was trying to go back collect the most recent ones because it was illustrated by the same guys who did some of the Sandman comics, but I didn't realize the 2014 run was by Remender of Winter Soldier. So I'm going, okay, we've got a Winter Soldier 2014 run, which is completely different from the Winter Soldier 2015 run. Where's the continuity here?
Yeah, plus it's tough to like switch these runs over and over and over and over. It's like,
oh, the churn is
it's hard to reconcile that. And I think this is where like the movies have done such a good job of drawing in everyone, because I do feel that the comics are very daunting and very scary for people to want to get into, because one, comics aren't a very welcoming place. If you've ever been in a comic shop, they're not very, I don't want to say they're mean, but they're not very happy you're there.
I disagree. My fellows at Comic Book College in Minneapolis on Hennepin are just fun and will conversate and have a discussion with you about any and everything until they close shop.
Comic College is where when I was a young boy, is where I bought my first 2 copies of The Breaking of the Batman with the first printing there.
Awesome.
I remember that being a trip with my mom. There've been it's just there's a lot of comic book shops that I go to when I'm traveling back and forth across the country. So maybe my view on it is skewed. But Comic College has been fucking awesome my entire life. When I lived in Minnesota, that was my go-to spot. Big Brain wasn't bad either in downtown.
Yeah, Big Brain's fun.
But out here, maybe it's an out here thing. It feels like you walk into a comic shop, or maybe it's because I tend to look rather bro-ish. Maybe it's I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be like smacking books out of kids' hands and stuff like that. And,
where's your surfboard, bro?
Yeah, and being like mean to everyone. But we go in there like, do you have a New Mutants number 96? Oh, do you even know who's in New Mutants 96? Yeah, fucker, that's Deadpool's debut. I want to buy a copy of it. That's why I'm here asking.
Did you not see the Wolverine fucking things for my blades on my hand? Like, come on, man.
It's like, come on, dudes. I like comics. Yeah. This is wrong.
No, you're spot on, though. There is a general overall feeling when you go into them. I feel that when I go into Mind's Eye in Egan. It's quiet and dull and feel like I'm going to get harped on for asking any kind of question.
Yeah, so I feel like comic books in general kind of have this daunting feel, and then to be like, oh yeah, we're restarting the run every year.
Well, and to that point, though, that's what kind of drives these guys insane, because they're the super hardcore ones. That's not to say we're not hardcore. I don't even know if is there a term for that even?
I don't. I would just say that
ignorantly hardcore. Like,
I would say that you're a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. You're a big fan. But we're like, neither of us are living it. Like, my Wednesdays aren't spent running to the comic shop. Like if there's a set of books that I want, I'll go get it on first printing. But having a first printing of a book is not paramount unless it's like a number 1 or an event book, But there are guys who are like, Spider-Man 278's coming out today. I'm like, okay. Like, it's first printing. It's a Wednesday. It's like, sorry, man. That doesn't matter to me. So
yeah. Some do and some don't. And
there's that upper echelon.
All I ever hear about when I walk into most of them is how much they hate Marvel right now. And I'm like, I don't want to come to your shop if all I'm going to do is be buying Marvel books and hearing or overhearing how much you hate Secret Wars and how they're rebooting everything. And keep an open mind, man. Like, you know, one of the favorite things you've probably been into. I forget the name of the sex shop here in Minneapolis, but the Smitten Kitten. Yeah, they have a sign up. Don't yuck somebody's yum.
That's an amazing statement.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, kids. Don't yuck somebody's yum. Don't do it.
Don't.
It may not be yours, but you don't gotta say shit about it.
Yep. Keep it to yourself.
Maybe I'm here only to buy Squirrel Girl books.
Yep. The great Bambi argument.
Yeah. So.
If you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
You got nothing nice to say, then say more things.
Yeah. Or shut the fuck up.
Let's see. Let's do a little like round robin of what's going on in the comics world, just so I can. Batman is in the Mobius chair. I know that means nothing to you.
Yeah,
But Batman is basically taken like the all-knowing, all-powerful Mobius throne. He's sitting in the Anti-Monitor's chair. Basically, he has like all the mental acumen of the Anti-Monitor, and all the rest of the Avengers are very or not the Avengers, but the rest of the Justice League are very nervous about what's happening to Brucey, because they have a couple panel excerpts where they're showing him and Colonel Trevor, the romantic interest for Diana. It's just like, he keeps floating higher above us. Do I, Colonel Trevor? Do I keep floating higher above you? And he just keeps floating away from them, and like he just wants to take the power of the Anti-Monitor, and it's just like, the last person we should give the power of the Anti-Monitor to is fucking Batman.
There's a character I am familiar with is the Anti-Monitor,
So, well, because right now, I mean, in DC, aside from their other major events that are going on, Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor are going to war with each other, and Superman and Lex Luthor are having to team up. There's all sorts of craziness going on in DC's world at the moment.
And so I meant to ask you this last week because you did not have it on your poll list. Are you literally reading everything outside of Secret Wars, except Secret Wars?
The thing is, I don't have Secret Wars on my pull list because I would have to put all of Secret Wars on there. I'm not reading any of the mainline story. And I do that with almost all of Marvel's major events. I wait until
the collected.
The rest of all of it's there, and then I can go back and read it. Because
Gotcha.
I kind of tend to go a little ADHD bonkers when it's just like, oh yeah, now jump over to Herc number 10, and then jump over to, Falcon Captain America number 26, and it's like I don't want to bounce around all these different issues.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because I'm doing the same thing, and or not the same thing. I am reading Secret Wars, but I am also reading everything else that is happening concurrently with it. But it's not really on the same timeline as when those are being released monthly. So you are probably on a you got the right idea basically to read it later, because some of what I'm reading in these other series of what's happening in Battle World and in Secret Wars is happening after it may not happen until after Secret Wars number 6 or 7, and I won't know that until I read those. So just reading number 5 now, I'm realizing that things I've already read have kind of happened. So yeah, to that point, it's great to. You got the right idea to be able to separate yourself from that and collect it later versus the monthlies. I wish I had the discipline to do that with myself.
I will say that there is some wiki reading that goes on just so I can stay in the know.
Sure.
And then finally get to look at it, because I'm one of those few people who does not believe in spoilers in the realm of anything story related. I feel like if the story's good enough, I'll just be able to like it without the element of surprise, which is not the way it is for everyone, and I acknowledge all of that, but that is how it works for me.
Yes, to each their own. Don't yuck somebody's yum.
Exactly. That is exactly the point. The name of this episode is "Don't Yuck Somebody's Yum." That's just what this episode's going to be called. That's it. That's basically it. That's what we're calling it.
Yep.
We're going with that as the name of the episode. Did you see that the Guardians put out another origin story? This time it's not, they ran down Star-Lord and Groot. They already got those done.
Yep.
They put out Rocket this week.
They did, and I have to palm my forehead and say that I did not watch it.
It's pretty solid. You get to see him choose his name Rocket and why he chooses the name Rocket, and get to see him set free his raccoon brethren, and his mom doesn't recognize him anymore once he's different, and he's bummed out about it. And then him and Groot kind of go off and fly off into the galaxy.
Interesting. I'm curious to know if we ever got an origin story in the books. I didn't get one in because I'm, me, avid Guardians fan from Abnett's run on. Literally everything. There is not a single issue that I missed. Now, whether you want to quiz me on those issues is another story, but prior to those and the older Guardians, and even though I know he was around before then, I don't recall them ever touching on his origin other than just kind of describing it. I don't think they ever showed anything.
Not in the Guardians run, but because his origin's covered pretty solid in the earlier, way earlier books. Because Rocket and Walrus and all the other people on Half-World, where he comes from,
yep.
the Keystone Quadrant. Half-World is called Half-World because it has two different environments on the planet, split straight down the center. One is one way, one is the other. Half-World is also an asylum planet. It's one half of it is filled with people called the Loonies, and on the other half is intelligent animals that basically have machines that robots build. They're basically kind of experimented on and made into robot wardens for the planet. One half is where all the crazy human people are dropped. The other half is where the robotic animal wardens are. So basically, the idea of him being experimented on is true. He was basically at one point a regular Earth raccoon that was experimented on and then given intelligence and all of those things. But he was put on Half-World as a warden, him and Walrus and all the other characters, which, if we're lucky, Guardians 2 will give us Walrus, because Walrus is the man.
Cool. Yeah, because I can remember the Groot backstory on Planet X of him saying he was royalty, but he not really ended up being royalty, and they kind of went back to his own planet saying, you kind of dogged all of us, man, and you lied, and you used it to your advantage to dip out of here, and now we're gonna fuck you and put you on trial, and you're kind of screwed. So that's where the Guardians came in and saved him. But yeah, for anybody wondering what that is, go back, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Volume 2 that one was in of the Abnett run, after Legacy, or that might have been during Legacy. I'm unsure, so don't quote me on that one. But either way, it was part of the Abnett Volume 1 through 4. Just grab all 4. It's only going to cost you $60.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad little chunk of change for such a neat storyline.
Yeah, 15 per, absolutely.
But also, I mean, for the old stuff with Rocket, which will be really fun for you, for everyone out there, Rocket used to have Rocket roller skates too.
No.
That was part of his deal. Was he had Rocket roller skates. They fire up and he'd fly around at supersonic speeds, and that'd be part of his little battle plan. Would have the badass rocket skates.
That's kind of incredible in a way.
It is. I mean, they obviously, as time went on, they took those away and made him more, crotchety and so on and so forth. But back in the day, he had himself some rocket roller skates, and they were sweet.
Awesome.
Man, this Maestro shot from Secret Wars is rad. Him having
Future Imperfect?
him having the Ghost Rider's chains used to tie Captain America's shield to his fist is awesome.
Didn't see that.
Yeah, there's a picture they have of him. Basically, he's wearing a bandolier of superhero masks and supervillain masks. The Bandolier has Doctor Doom's helmet, Spider-Man's mask, Iron Man's helmet, Wolverine's cowl, Mega Man's or not Mega Man, Magneto's helmet.
Mega Man.
Crossover, big crossover.
Capcom!
Marvel vs. Capcom, for reals. Daredevil's and the Juggernaut. That's his bandolier of like helmets. And then on one of his fists, he has Ghost Rider's chains wrapped around the like destroyed remains of Captain America's shield, basically tying it to his fist, making it a big gauntlet so he can punch people with it. Ooh. And in the other hand, he has Mjolnir.
Ooh.
So basically, it's playing up the idea of that, you know, in his universe, he's outlived everyone and killed every single superhero who's ever stood up to him. Yeah. And he's, you know, taking these trophies from kicking the shit out of them and basically doing whatever he wants because he's the maestro.
Pretty much.
Know? How can you mess with the maestro?
And
there's also the alternate. This isn't in the Secret Wars one, but so everyone can get super excited about the maestro. His other gauntlet that he uses regularly is Wolverine's torso tied to his hand.
Whoa.
His adamantium skeleton tied to his hand. So like he has the two arms, the claws stretched forward, and then the rest of the body goes across his forearm.
Just fathom that. The size of this guy. To be able to put a torso on a fist. And basically have arms as your index and pinky finger.
Exactly. That's the Maestro. Also, lots of good issues watching the Maestro fight the Hulk because they're the same guy, just alternate universe of each. They're both Bruce Banner, just evil universe, good universe. You know, the classic good universe, yes. Evil universe that we deal with on the regular in comic book world. Should we do something fun?
I'm always up for something fun.
Should we do a superhero fight and we can argue about who should win in the superhero fight?
I love those because recently I had the Loot Crate Super Fight card game, of which
nice.
You draw 3 character cards, 3, what would you call them, kind of weapon, adjective, just item cards.
And location cards.
Yep, and then location and circumstance cards. So lots of fun there, yes.
Super Fight is a great game. This is going to be a little bit more dumbed down just because it's, you know, for the funsies of it.
Yes.
We should pick 2 superheroes. I'll pick one, you pick one.
Okay.
And then we have to argue who we think would win in that fight. We get like 15 seconds to figure it out, and then we go.
Well, that might not be fair because if somebody goes first, somebody could pick a higher caliber.
Oh, no, it's a 1, 2, 3, and then we just say it.
Oh, man. And we have no circumstance for which this is being decided upon.
No, none. We just have to argue why we think it would happen.
Holy smokes. Let me get one in my head. Okay, go.
All right, 3, 2, 1,
Adam Warlock.
All right, so Ant-Man versus Adam Warlock. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go completely out of left field and say Ant-Man wins this fight.
Okay. You tell me why.
And I'm going to use the Ultimate Universe theorem for why it works. He shrinks down to nearly subatomic, and Warlock can't see him. He gets into Warlock's head and just starts punching Warlock's brain.
Ooh. Until
there's hemorrhaging, and he just puts Warlock down.
Ooh.
Then it's over. It's quick. It's easy. This is classic Ant-Man at his breaking point. No more playing fair. Just getting down and dirty, shrinking down to almost atomized size, and wailing on someone's brain.
Yeah, I don't even have a rebuttal to that. I'm sorry to disappoint the listeners, but I think I'm fucked on this fight.
The only way I can see Adam Warlock pulling this off is if he's got full strength with the is it Mind Gem or Soul Gem that he has in his head?
He's got the Soul one in the comics.
Is that with the Soul Gem, he can't really die. So basically Scott does the brain pummeling, and eventually Scott, being Scott Lang, he hops out, he celebrates his victory, and it's only a matter of time before Warlock pops back up and gives him the what for.
Well, thank you for making my argument for me.
Well, you know, you're ready to concede.
Yeah,
so
I was.
I
wanted there to be a fight for,
for posterity's sake.
Yeah, no, I went with early Warlock. Maybe even I might have been even thinking of Quasar.
Wow, that was going way back.
Well, not Phi Lavelle Quasar, but
okay.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Let's see. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and I guess at the end of the day we'll say Ant-Man wins if he doesn't resurrect himself.
Pretty
but
much.
Warlock wins if he pulls himself up with some soul gem power.
Yeah.
When he shows that soul glow. Warlock's gonna let that soul glow, dude, and get in there and just do some power punching and take care of business.
I think that might need to be a new animated commercial.
Do the Soul Glow commercial, but with Adam Warlock and his Farrah Fawcett hair. Oh, man.
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic. If you have any ideas on this fight, whether you think, maybe they both die, maybe the Maestro shows up and rips their heads off and uses them as basketballs or something, let us know in the comments on the Facebook or, now on the Instagram, because we're, each week we're getting more technologically cool, I guess, and we're all over the place. Or if you have an idea for what you want to see as a super fight, throw it in the comments. You'd be like Alien versus Predator, and we'll do it right, not like the bad. We'll talk about it, and we'll make it can be really cool. Sonic the Hedgehog versus the Flash. I don't care. I'll talk about that.
Whoa. Whoa.
Could you imagine just Barry Allen just pummeling a hedgehog to death?
That's deep.
And then it's like, Barry, what are you doing? That's a super fight. Just, you fighting that hedgehog's a super fight? He's very fast. He doesn't look so fast. Well, you weren't here when the fight started. You showed up at the end.
Oh, that's
he's all embarrassed.
He had this sidekick with tails.
He had this fox with a bunch of tails and like a echidna. Yeah, but it was red and it was evil and it punched a lot. Barry, I think you're going a little crazy, bud.
I'm fine. I swear.
And then you see Eggman and Lex Luthor standing together. And he's just like, pay up, buddy. And he's like, all right, pays Eggman. Because he bets
gold
on it.
rings. In gold rings.
Yeah, he pays him in gold rings and Chaos Emeralds. You hear that, DC? There's your real crossover.
Yep.
And to really break it down, we could make this a three-way crossover. It could be DC and Sonic the Hedgehog crossover, and then we find out that the Chaos Emeralds are also Infinity Stones.
Oh,
and boom!
shit.
We cross over into Marvel, and then we got all that going down. We got Eggman and Lex Luthor and Justin Hammer all hanging out, being shitty billionaires together.
If Justin Hammer made an appearance, I don't even know what I'd do. I might have to just bow out from life.
All right, I'm finished here.
Right, pretty much. Just okay. That's just the culmination of greatness, and I'm done.
Just dust it off.
Yep.
Close the book and leave.
That's it for me.
We like Justin Hammer here. At
We
the
do.
I
mean, it's really but we don't just love Justin Hammer. We love, brain fart on the actor.
Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell is Justin Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we love.
That's true. That is the one we love more than anything else in the entire world.
I might have to just watch All Hail the King tonight just to remind myself how much I love Sam Rockwell's Justin Hammer.
I might actually just have to go watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to watch him play Zaphod Beeblebrox, just because he's awesome in that too.
I haven't watched that yet, but that's going right on the list tonight. And I was even going to take you one more and say, going back to watch, a little R-rated for anybody out there, but Seven Psychopaths.
I have never seen it. Is it good?
Oh, it is. It's something else. I've seen it once with the intention when I finished it to watch it again, because it's one of those movies that you watch, you finish it, and you go, wow. And you won't even fully get it until you watch it a second time. So I haven't done myself justice by watching it only once and leaving myself on that cliffhanger. But yeah, Sam Rockwell, incredible in that one. Everybody else, incredible in that one. And it's one you don't get until the ending. And then you got to go back and go, oh, okay, well, let me watch that again, knowing everything I know now. Pretty cool stuff.
Very nice. This just in for everyone. Scott C, who does, he's a Tumblr artist guy. He does really neat little kind of watercolor drawings, paintings, things. They're really neat. He just put up his newest Greatest Showdowns. And if you are the kind of person who likes to buy physical art, we'll make sure that we include the link. But he just posted the new one is going to be Scott, I Need You to Be the Ant-Man, and it's him and a bunch of ants in a very sad-looking yellow jacket next to each other. So we'll post the link there for everyone to see, just so everyone can have a chance to look at that on the Facebook, because I think it's really neat. I'm not going to buy it, but I like looking at the picture in its digital form. Sure. I even really liked his other print that he put out for A Lovely Day, which is his Mad Max Fury Road print. So,
which run is that one now? Because I heard the one that came out right after the movie was garbage and did the storyline no justice to that.
Well, his is just a painting, so it's not like it's not not a comic, so to speak.
Gotcha.
But
this
also
art is awesome.
There's some really neat fan art being put out for a Marvel Hawkeye, Matt Fraction Hawkeye Netflix original series. Using it's a really neat fan-made poster. We'll make sure that we include that as well so everyone can see it. But just so you guys can see, or just so you guys can know about it, it's got Jeremy Renner kind of like falling through the air on a couch, and it's got Aubrey Plaza holding onto an arrow, and it's got Pizza the dog hanging out.
Bro, loss of words at Aubrey Plaza playing Kate Bishop. Wow.
Would be awesome, right?
It would be. I lack an adjective to describe how incredible that would be.
We'd have to have him, get a divorce from his wife so him and Kate Bishop could hook up. But...
Well, nah. Yeah. It's a fine line there.
It's true.
Old man, late teens girl.
It's true. But of course, the Aubrey Plaza's playing her, they won't have her be...
Well, right, yeah. They'd kind of probably spin the age a little bit there.
Yeah, but I would take it either way, even if he was just mentoring Kate Bishop.
Right. Either way, she is a perfect Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Let's just agree on that right now. If anybody is to play Kate Bishop.
Yeah, we should probably just get Marvel on that right away. Sometimes these fan posters come out and they're just so perfect that it's just like, yep.
This is incredible. I don't know how I missed this. We got to post this for you guys listening. This is just awesome.
Yeah, we'll make sure that absolutely gets put up there. There's always so much neat superhero
and the falling is just perfect because every issue, I don't know if anybody's read Fraction's run there, but every single issue opens with the same action sequence, and that was my favorite part. Is him in some sort of dilemma with the caption, "Okay, so this looks bad."
Oh,
and he's falling out of a window or whatever it may be, but that is always what it was. Is it was okay. So this looks bad.
Oh, just Clint Barton, baby. Just number one forever.
Loved it.
Oh man, did we make it to the end again? Are we at the end?
I think
we have more?
We kind of did. There may be a little bit more that we didn't get to.
There's one last thing.
Oh, what do we got?
We're doing an Apple thing. Images have surfaced this week that show the Robin suit having holes in the shoulders and the Joker having scars in the exact same spots on those shoulders, which leads a little bit pouring more fuel on the proverbial fire that Jason Todd or Dick Grayson, depending on whether or not you think it's the Frank Miller breakdown.
Yep.
I think it's Jason Todd. I'm hoping it's Jason Todd.
I'm not too familiar with either of them. I was only familiar with the Jason Todd theory when we spoke on it last, and you had caught me up to date doing my own research on it, looking at it, and then only today when I saw the photo of the Robin suit with the 2 bullet holes in the shoulder, and then looking at the original Jared Leto, one of the promo photos for the Joker, and seeing the 2 scars on the shoulders, putting that together, a friend of mine had mentioned, could be Jason Todd, but also following the Frank Miller storyline, to which I don't know much about, and you could probably elaborate more, is that is a Dick Grayson Joker, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the idea in the Return of the Dark Knight, the iconic Frank Miller story, it's posited that Dick Grayson kind of morphs into the Joker, and it's kind of a neat idea of the Batman's closest ally morphing into his greatest enemy over time. But I like the idea of the Jason Todd Joker because one, Suicide Squad's gonna be a lot darker. Dick Grayson, it never sits well with me because Dick Grayson's just the eternal optimist. Even when he was Batman, he was the eternal optimist. He's got his heart in the right place and he believes in the everyone being good. And it never ever goes south for Dick Grayson, even when things are their worst. So I don't think he would have the mental breaking point that is required to be the Joker. That's just like my feelings on Dick Grayson being the Joker. Jason Todd, on the other hand, he's crazy. He's a crazy person.
Sure.
So,
and I didn't get that until I recently downloaded the entire DC animation series. I had seen it before, but going back and rewatching, what was it, Under the Red Hood?
Yeah.
And seeing that Robin turn into that person.
And I mean, the Under the Red Hood does an incredible job of telling that tale. Like, it does a great job. Like, it even gives Jason Todd's full-on motivations perfectly.
Yeah.
I understand. Like, I have no problem with me dying. I understood what happened with being your partner. I understood that me dying was something that could happen. The thing that I don't understand, and the thing that bothers me more than anything, is why is he still alive?
Yep.
And pointing at the Joker, and it's just if he had killed you, if the roles had been reversed, he would have been dead within the week. Is Jason Todd's rebuttal to Bruce, and it's just like, you just let him live. It's like, he murdered me with a crowbar. You just let him live, and he's done it again and again and again and again, and someone has to pay. And it's just like, and that's Jason's so mentally broken because in the comics he dies and comes back to life.
Yeah, the Lazarus.
Yeah, it's the Lazarus pit, and he's kind of broken, as a mentally broken, and eventually he Red Hood becomes a superhero, kind of a Deadpoolish anti-hero type character. But
oh, really?
But a hero nonetheless. I mean, yeah, him and the Outlaws is a pretty solid book from the New 52. It's a crazy grouping too, because it's him, Baby Doll, and Starfire from Teen Titans.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't do a very good job with Starfire and Teen Titans, because in Teen Titans she's just kind of like, or not Teen Titans, but in Red Hood and the Outlaws, she's kind of just reduced to like pinup girl, because she's like always in like a bikini and like almost always naked, and she's like discovering sex on Earth for the first time and wants to like have sex with Jason Todd all the time, and it doesn't do a very good job of portraying her, much like we talked about earlier, comics with women in general. But Jason Todd's arc is really cool, oddly enough.
Yeah, right.
So I guess I don't know if I can actually call it a really great comic book. I can say that it's a neat comic book to follow for Jason Todd, and not a particularly good one for the female supporting characters.
Yeah. Well, and from what I understand is that the way that the Dick Grayson one works is that is an entirely different universe, I guess.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, some different alternate universe Dick Grayson. It's tough because it's like that storyline. I think to have Dick Grayson be him is a much bigger commitment than just having it be Jason Todd. Yeah. Where Jason kills the Joker back then and assumes the role.
Right.
Yeah,
this one's a lot different than that.
So I think the idea of being in the Suicide Squad, to make it work for the movie, it'd be much easier to have it be that Jason kills the Joker and takes over his role, thus validating the lines of how many good guys in Gotham, how many stayed that way.
Yep.
The J tattoo on his face being more for Jason Todd and not for the Joker.
That's
know?
right. Yeah, the J. I forget the J. But somebody brought up a good point. I think it was one of my homies saying that the probability or the potential for a Nightwing appearing at some point in time would kind of defeat that Dick Grayson purpose.
Right. And and Nightwing's a big enough character. People fucking love Nightwing. I'm not the biggest Nightwing fan, which is funny because I really like Dick Grayson, but I don't particularly dig Nightwing. I've always liked him as Robin, and I liked him as the replacement Batman. But there's just something about Nightwing that just never does it for me.
So in this universe that we're seeing right now, and what we've seen from teasers, Dick Grayson having the headstone that we saw, is that to canon in any one of these universes where Jason Todd may still exist while Dick Grayson does not?
I believe in one of the multiversal universes of DC before, everything got merged into the one universe, before, we got Superman Prime and all those other crazy deals. There is one where Jason makes it out and Dick dies.
Superman Prime, that whiny bitch.
Superman Prime, baby. He's just so upset about his dying world that he goes crazy. It's always something. I died, my world's dying, I gotta go crazy. Everyone's just going so crazy.
But wasn't he Superboy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Superboy in his world, and then he becomes Superman Prime.
Superman whiny bitch.
Hey, he did fly Superman through a sun, though. That's pretty badass.
I'll give you that one.
He did just grab Clark by the face and fly him through a fucking sun. That's pretty raw business.
Yeah.
Like, as far as superpowered fights go, I don't think I've seen Superman get chucked through a sun by anyone other than Superman, whiny bitch Prime boy. Just we'll merge it all together and call it that.
Yep.
But
accurate. Very
it could be
accurate.
worse. It could be a Superman android.
Oh yeah. Could have that.
Or was it the Child of the Atom, the radioactive one, or the?
Well, I don't know anything beyond the.
Oh, I'm trying to think of all the death of Superman that popped up. Like Steel. If you remember Steel.
Kind of remember Steel.
John Henry Irons was a railroad worker named after mythical figure John Henry, and he builds himself a metal suit and becomes a Superman. Like a super Iron Man. But
So
none of the gadgets. He's pretty cool for the 90s. Pretty lame in retrospect.
So he becomes super by his suit?
Yes.
But he's not super compared to Superman.
That is correct. He lacks he has none of the Superman powers. He has no laser vision, no frost breath. He can kind of fly because he's got like little rocket boots.
Yeah, you're done, bro. He's out of here.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
He's got a big hammer.
Yeah.
It's way bigger
There's
than the
an
Mjolnir.
interesting fight.
It's a sledgehammer.
No, let's put a god against a god.
Thor versus Superman? Ooh,
Well, hang on now. All-Father Thor.
Oh, the
versus
All-Father
Superman.
Thor, like at the very tip-top peak,
Yes.
peak of his power versus a Superman. Well, I guess it comes down to, are we viewing Asgardian powers as magical?
Ooh.
Because if it's magic, then I'm going to go ahead and flat out say Thor crushes the living Christ out of Superman, because Superman got himself some problem with earth magic.
Yeah. Yep, he does.
So, if Asgard is a god and he's magic, then there's some big problems for Superman. I posit this as a fight instead.
Okay.
Superman versus the Juggernaut.
Ooh.
And here's why I think this is a great fight. Superman, as we just said, has problems with earth magic. He's gets beat up by it, it hurts him real bad, and it weakens him, kind of nullifies his powers. Conversely, the Juggernaut, his powers are not as effective on non-terrestrial beings. Very highlighted by fighting the Gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire and punching him and doing nothing. And so my thought would be, if he's affected by people of non-terrestrial origin and Superman's affected by magic, that's a wash, and we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned fight on our hands. And who wins between Kane Marco and Clark Kent? Just two American boys with none of their powers to help them.
Wow. I would say, oh man, I think I got to ride with Marvel on this one. I got to go Juggernaut.
Go with the Jugs.
Just given the where his power derives from.
He's so big. He's so big, though. I don't want to argue for Superman because I don't particularly like Superman, but he's just... God, Jugs is so big. He's just such a big man.
He's huge.
He's just so large. And I feel like Clark could maybe get around some of those slow lumbering punches and maybe lay down some serious blows to the face. But then again, if Jugs is wearing the mask, that might actually, stop Superman from hurting him. You know what? I'm turning this one over. I'm turning it over to the audience. You tell us who wins in a fight between Superman and the Juggernaut, and the most compelling one is what we talk about who wins next time. So you just go ahead and throw that in the comments or the Facebook. Just let us know who you think is the winner. And if no one lets us know, then we'll just go ahead and say that the Juggernaut won because we're both Marvel boys.
Pretty much.
So I feel like that though. Can you hear it? Can you feel it coming in the air tonight?
Yeah, we're done here.
We're done here. We made it. We made it all the way to the end. So that being said, if you listen to the show and you like it, please stop by our Facebook and hit the like button there. It'll keep you up to date on when new episodes are coming. You'll see all of our supplemental content, like our Superhero of the Week, our pull list, infographics, or any other cool, neat infographics, or just stuff we find that we're going to talk about during the week. It's also a great place to engage with us. You can see us on Instagram. We are the Best Flarking Podcast on Instagram. And now I have to backtrack a little bit. My perfect flow is going to be broken for the first time ever. Our Facebook page is not the Best Flarking Podcast on Facebook. It's just Best. Flarking Podcast, because Facebook wouldn't let me put the in there.
No,
and keep everything else. So, Best Flarking Podcast there. And so we got Instagram, and we're also on the YouTubes as Evil Ice Cream Pictures, so youtube.com/Evil Ice Cream Pictures. You can see all of our podcasts there, and all of the other neat music videos and cartoons and things
check
that
out Evil Ice Cream's awesome videos, please. The real or fake weapons in real life is one of my favorites. Love that stuff.
We're working on making more of those. That's our favorite too of all the things we make. Nothing as fun as smashing a car with a gravity hammer and all that good stuff. We're also on the SoundCloud, but it's only the most 2 recent episodes. That's the same with our iTunes feed. It's just a unfortunate drawback to the free SoundCloud situation that we tend to live in, because we're balling on a budget over here at the Best Flarking Podcast. So we try and bring you the maximum amount of shows we can without having to break the bank, sadly. But if we make $1 billion on this podcast, like the plan says, then we'll absolutely buy the premium SoundCloud package. So
and it's all for you guys.
It's all for you guys. It's all for you. Everything that we've ever done, past, present, and future.
We love you.
Yeah. And so that's gonna do it. That's our show. We're done here, and we are the best Flarking podcast. Boom, 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yeah! All right, everyone, have a good week. We'll see you next time. Go check out Devil Dinosaur on the Hero of the Week.
Yes.
Go read some stuff about Devil Dinosaur. It'll make you smile.
Peace.
Bye-bye.